I tell you what, it's smoke and mirrors from the Victorian Premier this week. The Andrews Victorian Labor government keeps defending its decision not to initially name the Melbourne abattoir Cedar Meats, which has been linked to 45 coronavirus cases. Now, Victoria's Health Department declined to name Cedar Meats on the same day it shamelessly named Melbourne's Meadowglen Primary School, where just one teacher had tested positive for the virus. At this stage, prima facie evidence suggests that it was not passed on from a student. In fact, in this country, no student has passed on the virus to a teacher. Now, the teacher who'd been at the school filming videos for students to learn online barely came into contact with anyone, let alone students. Conversely, the abattoir had hundreds of employees. Victoria's Health Minister, Jenny Mikakis, says it's her policy to name sources of Victorian outbreaks which constitute significant public health risks. But how does that tally with the decision to name Meadowglen and not name Cedar Meats? Now, the Premier, Daniel Andrews, says decisions to name or not name are made by Health Department bureaucrats. I didn't know the bureaucrats ran the state of Victoria. Sure enough, that's been contradicted by Victoria's Chief Health Officer, Brett Sutton, who shifted the blame, saying the responsibility was on Cedar Meats to voluntarily identify themselves.
Well, I think that's the role for that specific meatworks to say, well, it's us. It's not for us to declare that it's a particular setting.
So between all three, you've got three different circumstances and strategies about whether a place is named or not. Talk about ducking and weaving. No, Mr Andrews, the reason your government rushed to name Meadowglen was simple politics. You wanted to embarrass Federal Education Minister Dan Tehan, who savaged you on Sunday over not having a plan to reopen Victorian schools in term 2. Now, it just so happens that Cedar Meats has been a generous donor to the Victorian ALP as well. Maybe that played a role in the secrecy too. We'll probably never know. But Australians have woken up to the premiers in the eastern states, and we are sick and tired of rogue premiers who think they're in charge of managing national crises. Some even think they have better medical knowledge than the chief medical officer in Canberra. The coronavirus crisis emphasises why Australia needs vital reform of federal-state relations. There's way too much duplication. And both this crisis and the bushfire emergency proves that we definitely have one layer of government too many.